Hello everyone. So in this video I will be doing a review of PS2 or Ponniyin Selvan 2, which is the sequel to Ponniyin Selvan Part 1, released last year in April of 2022. So Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 stars Vikram, Aishwarya Rai, Karthi, Trisha Krishnan, J.M. Ravi, Aishwarya Lakshmi, Prakash Raj, Parthiban, Sarat Kumar, Jairam and Prabhu, and it is directed by Mani Ratnam. It has screenplay by Mani Ratnam and B. Mohan and by Ilango Kumaravel. It is based on the Ponniyin Selvan novel by Kalki Krishnamurti, and this Ponniyin Selvan novel has been a bestseller in Tamil Nadu for decades since its release. And once the movie was released, or rather when the movie was announced and as promotions were going on for Ponniyin Selvan, the sales of the novel also increased when in proportion to the amount of promotion that went on to promote this movie, both part 1 and part 2. So Ponniyin Selvan is produced by Mani Ratnam and Subhaskaran Ali Raja. It has a cinematography by Ravi Varman and it was edited by Srikar Prasad, and it has music by A.R. Rahman. The production companies that produced this movie were Madras Talkies and Laika Productions, and it was distributed by Red Giant Movies. So this movie was released on the 28th of April 2023, and it has a runtime of 2 hours and 45 minutes. And so the budget of this movie, initially this whole Ponniyin Selvan project was done together. So meaning they filmed the both parts of the movie together. So the budget was that was allocated was around 500 crores, and so we can estimate that they roughly split it half and half for each movie, and so we can estimate that Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 and Part 2 were each 250 crores, made with a budget of 250 crores each. And so I'll, I'm not going to go through the whole flow of the story, but instead I will list some of the main points and just talk about them. And before I give my own thoughts and review on how I found the experience watching the movie. So we start off with the points here, and the first one is Arun Murray's journey. Arun Murray, also known as Ponniyin Selvan, his ship sank in the part 1 because of the attack from the assassins, the Pandyan assassins, who were determined to kill him, and they sent his ship down, and they believe that they successfully killed him. Most of them believe that they successfully killed him. But what happened is he was rescued by Karthi and by a few, also by the character of Aishwarya Lakshmi, which is Pungorali, and a few others. And so they basically rescued him and brought him to a Buddhist missionary, a Buddhist kind of temple in Sri Lanka, where he stays for some time, and he spends meditating and being there with them. And what happens is eventually the people there find out that Arun Murray is alive, and he returns back to his own country and his own to be with his own people and to meet his family. And of course the people are overjoyed when they know that their prince is actually alive, because they assume that he was dead from the news that they received, and now they see that he is actually alive. The point number 2 is the Pandyas and Nandini's plot to kill Aditya, Karigalan, the Ponniyin Selvan, and Sundara Chora. So they call them the three tigers, and they plan to actually kill the three of them at the same time. But Nandini has different plans of her own, and she says that she has invited Aditya Karigalan to Kanambur Palace where she plans to kill him. And the other Pandya assassins will attempt to kill Ponniyin Selvan and also Sundara Chola. Next, we see Madurandagan's desire and plan to ascend to the throne, which she believes that he is the rightful heir to the throne by the by the status of his birth, and he believes that he has the right to be on the throne, and so he plans with the enemies of the Chola Empire. He plans to take over the empire and be the king. Next, we see Ume Rani's identity. So we find out that Ume Rani, which is basically played by Aishwarya Rai, she plays both Nandini and Ume Rani. We discover that Ume Rani is Aishwarya Rai's mother, and she and Sundara Chorar have a past love story in the past, where he was seeking refuge and she gave him refuge, and that was where they had their love story. And what happened is after this, Sundar Chorar returned back to his country, his empire, and his enemy, who was Veera Pandyan, the king of the neighboring and rival nation. He came and basically what he did was he took his revenge when he found out that he could not capture Sundar Chorar. He took his revenge on Ume Rani. So basically he violated her, and the child of Ume Rani and Veera Pandyan is actually Nandini. So she is actually a princess of the Pandyan nation, but she is unaware of this right until the end of the story, when one of the Pandyan kind of the generals, or the one of the Pandyan assassins, reveals this to her. So his name is Ravidasan, and what happens is they have killed Aditya Karigalan, and so she's on the boat where, and he reveals this to her, who her identity is. She's actually the daughter of Umerani and Veera Pandyan. And also we see next is Vandiyathevan's love with Kundabe, which is played by Trisha. So their love scenes, there are some love scenes in this movie between the two of them, and their love kind of progresses to the next level where they become closer. And there's a nice beautiful song named Aganaga in one of the scenes where they meet. And also what's ongoing throughout the movie is his quest to protect his friend Aditya Karigalan. So he is captured at one point, and that is where he learns about the plans of the Pandyan assassins and Nandini's plan to kill Aditya Karigalan, and he tries to stop and warn the prince, or stop the prince, and to persuade him not to go to actually I don't think that's what happened actually, but he tries to stop the prince from being murdered. So he tries to protect the prince against all of these assassins, and he also protects Arun Murray also when the assassins trying to attack him when he's making his way back to his country and kingdom. And so his quest is to protect both Aditya Karigalan and Ponniyin Selvan. And I would say that the main highlight of this movie, PS-2, is actually the story between Aditya Karigalan, played by Vikram, and Nandini, played by Aishwarya Rai. So we see the love story between them, where Aditya Karigalan is a prince and Nandini is just a girl in a temple, who is kind of a flower girl or priest girl living in the priest's house. And So the to the royal family, they are kind of lower status than them, because the royals consider themselves as the highest, and or rather Kundavai considers herself much higher status than her. And also we see that she's kind of a little bit jealous of her beauty, because Kundavai, being the princess, she's used to being praised as the most beautiful, and she does not feel it's not she does not uh, take very well to knowing that someone else is getting the same kind of compliments, uh, where and being praised as that is beautiful. So what happens is Aditya and Nandini are in love, but Kundabe uh, drives away drives Nandini away and her family away out of the kingdom, and basically out of the country. And that is where she starts to develop hatred. And also at the same time, because Aditya Karigaran, he went off to war for a couple of years, and he promised her that he will return, and but he in the end that did not happen, because they both went separate ways, and they weren't able to meet until a long time later. So when Aditya next meets Nandini is when he goes to find Veerapandian in the forest in a hut, and he sees Nandini and Veerapandian, and what he does is Nandini begs for him to show mercy and to spare Veerapandian's life, but both Veerapandian and Aditya Karigalan know that this not possible, and Veerapandian tries to make one last attempt to fight and protect himself, but Aditya Karigalan kills him, and Nandini is very much shocked and traumatized, and she develops a further hatred and the desire to have exact revenge against Aditya Karigalan for what he has done. And so closer to the end of the movie, we see that Aditya Karigalan, he goes to Kalamur Palace to visit Nandini, and so they have a very sad and emotional scene between them, where we see that both of them are unable to move on from the love, and they still do love each other even though there's hatred between them. So there's hatred, and for Nandini there's the desire to exact revenge, and to for a few reasons, but even though she has strong hatred, but she still loves him, and Aditya Karigalan is unable to forget her, and he still also loves her too. So he says that there is only one way and one solution and one end to all of this, is for her to kill him. And he says that that is why you have called me here, isn't it? And he says that says to her, kill me and put an end to all of this. And so Nandini is hesitant, because she still has feelings for him, even though she has planned to kill him, but her feelings are stopping her from doing anything. And at the same time, there are Pandyan assassins surrounding the room, and also there's Vandiyadevan, and they are fighting behind the room, where Vandiyadevan is trying to protect Aditya Karigalan from the assassins, and the assassins are trying to murder him, and after that bring Nandini away from the palace. And so Aditya Karigalan, he he holds Nandini, and he brings Nandini to him, and he gives her his knife, and he embraces her in a very sentimental and sad scene, where she is very much in pain from we see all the emotions pouring out of her, and the sadness, the grief, and everything pouring out of her. And Aditya Karigalan, other hand, he, even though he's dying, he kind of looks more like he's relieved that this is all ending. So we see that sad and emotional scene where Nandini kills Aditya Karigalan, but willingly, because Aditya Karigalan willingly gave her his knife and he made her kill him. And after that, Nandini was brought away by Pandyan assassins, and they went away to their out of the country. And we have a war where Vandiyadevan is accused of killing Aditya Karigalan because he's the one who brought Aditya Karigalan's body out to the front of the palace, and everyone sees and they assume that he's the one who killed Aditya Karigalan. But they it is proved otherwise and there is a war scene where Vandiyadevan and Ponniyin Selvan, they are fighting against the enemies, and also against one of the fellow princes, a friend who has turned enemy because he believed that Vandiyadevan is the one who killed Aditya Karigalan. But after that is over, then we see that so that war, basically the reason is Madurandagan. One of the main reasons is Madurandagan. He is the one who kind of assembled, or rather he was part of assembling this whole thing and the conflict, but he switches sides before the war and he joins Ponniyin Selvan and Vandiyadevan, and he wants to protect the Chora kingdom. And so when the war is over, then we see that Sundar Chora wants to hand over the title of crown prince to, well, Ponniyin Selvan is the crown prince, but the emperor Sundar Chora wants to name Ponniyin Selvan or Arunmari the king, but Arunmari says that the throne rightfully belongs to his uncle Madurandagan, and he gives the crown to Madurandagan and crowns him the king. And we see that Madurandagan was a king for a few years before Ponniyin Selvan took over, and Ponniyin Selvan was crowned king, and he achieved great things in the years to come. And so the movie ends with Ponniyin Selvan and Vandiyadevan standing in a ship going off to somewhere in the middle of the sea, going off to war against a nation. And where Ponniyin Selvan is giving a motivational kind of speech, and we see the dialogue, or rather the subtitles saying what he achieved. He managed to achieve great things in the years to come after ascending the throne. So PS2 PS2 is more of an emotional roller coaster compared to Ponniyin Selvan Part 1. And this Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 is a package of a great storyline. We have great romance scenes, and also sentimental scenes, and very sad and sad scenes that will move you. And we have a mix of humor, and uh, we have action, we have fighting in the movie, and overall I would say that I did enjoy watching this movie. For me, the highlight is the scenes, because I wanted to see the ending between Aditya Karigalan and Nandini. So that was kind of the highlight of the movie for me, the love story between them. And what I expected was the expectations for Ponniyin 7 2 were already set in Ponniyin 7 Part 1. So how that movie was, it is same for this movie. But I would say PS2 is slightly more emotional and more of a emotion evoking movie than Ponniyin 7 Part 1. So Ponniyin 7, it is a tale that has been told for several generations since the book was written by Kalki Krishnamurti decades ago, and now it has become a major motion picture in two parts, and it is a story that will continue to captivate readers and also movie lovers around the world for many years to come. And Pony 7 Part 2, I did enjoy watching this movie. So, and the expectations that I had when I downloaded this movie and watched this movie were met. So, this movie met my expectations. It has a great story, great action, great cinematography, and I would say great screenplay by the Mani Ratnam sir, and great music by A.R. Rahman sir. And my rating for Ponniyin 7 Part 2, I will give it a rating of 8 out of 10. So Ponniyin 7 Part 2 is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. So you can download the movie and watch it if you have not already done so. And if you have already watched the movie, what do you think of the movie? How was your experience watching Ponniyin 7 Part 2? Do let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching this video. And until the next one, take care and goodbye.